Oh. I think I see us.
It says we're going live. It says we're here. I don't actually know if I'm here until my existence is validated by others, but
Waiting.
I try to move forward with optimism. We shall move forward as if we are. Hello.
Waiting. There we go.
There's an ad. Hello.
Okay. Hi.
Kayla Lord.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our weekly live stream where we record our podcast, the audio version of which goes out on all major podcast apps every Friday. We are here 8 minutes early. If you are here for the live stream and you do not like idle chit chat, you got about 8 minutes to go do what you got to do. If you are here after the stream, but before I put in timestamps and you don't like idle chit chat, fast forward by about 8 minutes. Yay! Hi, Kitty. Hi, Claire. Hi, Rara. Hi, D-Bunny. I know it's too soon for you. Yeah.
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 Yep. I gotta wait.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I cannot remember, and I am so sorry. Is it Mary or Mari? We've had this conversation, and I can't remember, and I am so sorry. Hello, regardless, but please correct me, because my mind is just blanked out. Hi, Jen. So we're here early. This is the butt rub portion. Hi, Tayshu. You, well, I guess JB is technically the first blue wrench, but you are the first non-JB blue wrench. Does that count, Tayshu? I think that should count.
Off-site blue wrench?
I don't know. That is a word, and I don't know what it is. I felt validated, speaking of not knowing of a word. Monday's video / podcast episode, we were like, what is the pressure free? What is the word we're looking for, pressure free? We got a comment on YouTube. The person was like, I too am waiting for somebody to give me the word because I don't know either.
Yeah.
Mari, see, Mari like March. That's what you told me last time. Ugh. I can remember a face forever. Won't know where I know that face from, but will remember names. And I hate it about myself. Assistant Blue Range. Tayshu, you are nobody's assistant.
Right.
I don't know what that even means.
Well, I believe, Deja, you didn't see, I believe Mr. Spock is at work tonight.
And Silent is painting bedrooms.
Is painting bedrooms, yep.
Yes. So, we'll actually also have to keep our eye on live chat. We knock on wood, pick wood somewhere there's wood. We are usually very fortunate that very few times are there trollersons. But no, it still happens. I saw somebody that Silent booted from a stream in the past couple weeks. Their name, air quote, that was some version of penis. It's like, I don't even know what you have to say. You can go now. Right, Rara? The guilt is, especially if I know I've had a conversation with somebody or like interacted with them. I'm like, damn it. So, what's going on with us? That is good butt rub fodder. Hi, sassy girl.
Well, I was
getting your girl riled up before we streamed. Yes, I know.
Well, she was expecting me to take her for our evening walk.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Every time I moved anywhere, she looked at me as, is this it? Are we going to go? Is it time?
Is it time? Yeah.
You know, because we're right at that time of day when I take her for her walks now. So, you know what? Yes, I was getting her riled up, but there was a method to my madness. I was trying to get her, you know, bouncing a little bit to expend some energy.
Yeah, she is now laying in her cot, licking her paws, which we probably should do something about with the vet, but the past 2 months we're at almost $600, so we need to take a break.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, just from the way she was running around here a few minutes ago, she's obviously
She's feeling no pain right now.
right. She's doing better.
Hi, Jay. So, yeah, she is full of sass. So,
Oh yeah.
which is good. She was making us nervous when she was not.
Right.
She's got, what, 1 or 2 more days left of her antibiotic, and then
Correct.
she gets to stop that. That'll be
Right.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness. She is messing up her blankets in an
And
effort to make them perfect.
And I just made her bed.
I know. I know. I know.
I know. She has to rearrange it so it's comfortable, you know.
You didn't quite get it just
No,
right.
no.
So. Oh, my gosh. There was a lot of humphy kind of movement. Yeah, Tayshu, I constantly am like, it's definitely me. It's not you. I'm the problem. It's me. It's me and my faulty memory. So she is, I can't tell if she's staring at me or staring at you, but she's focused, laser focused.
She's staring in this direction. She's probably, wondering if it's still going to happen.
Yeah. Is it? Probably not. No. You're like, no. There's no way in hell that's happening.
No. I walked this morning. I'm not walking again tonight after this.
That was so funny.
I know.
I had to hold you accountable.
You did.
Wow. That was...
You did.
But see, this is where these kinds of things usually go off the rail. I'm always tempted to skip out, and you push me, and then eventually you're tempted to skip out, and I'm like, okay. And this time I was
This time you didn't. You were like, no, we're doing it.
These stupid walks for my stupid mental health actually work. He was like, okay, what he originally said was, okay, Wednesdays we have the stream, we have this, we just need to skip Wednesday. And I went, well, then you need to pick another day because I need 3 walks a week. So what day will it be? And he went, fine, we'll walk on Wednesday. So, yeah, I was very proud of me in that moment.
You kind of shocked me a little bit.
Well, the scary thing is, if that's where your headspace is, and we'll talk a little bit more about headspace in a few minutes, that makes me nervous for the day that I wimp out, because one of us has to be strong.
Right.
Yeah.
Hi,
Mr. Spock. So, but yeah, the walk, here's what I'm learning about our morning walks.
Mm-hmm.
They are cooler, the humidity is lower.
Yeah.
Here's what my theory is. It's further away from sunrise. Sunrise is like 6:42, 6:43. We are out there at 5:38. So it's getting darker, although it is a little cooler. But it's freaking me out. It's so dark. I'm like, I don't. I like to sleep in total darkness. I do not like to move through the neighborhood in total darkness.
Yeah.
So...
glad you liked the shirt, Mr. Spock. Yeah, I actually visited there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Last time you went on a cruise?
2008.
Okay. Oh, definitely before my time.
Yep.
Kitty, you do have to walk your Kayla. She gets very testy if you do not walk her. And yes, Diaz Bunny, I agree. Accountability is a wonderful thing. Okay, it is 7 o'clock. We're going to get started.
Not yet.
Go ahead, I'm waiting.
Hello, everybody.
There you go. If you don't get the JB greeting, were you actually welcome to the live stream? Probably not. As you can tell from the title, we're doing a BDSM Reddit response reaction. I can never decide what I want to call them. It is what it is. So that's today's topic. If you enjoy this, we love a thumbs up. If you like it enough to want to come back for more, please consider subscribing.
And once you do that, go ahead and ring the notification bell so you can get updates of new content.
Just do what Daddy says.
Blah, 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 blah,
once he
blah.
figures out what he's saying.
Right.
Just do what he says. If you want more of this, more of us, and to help us do more of this, more of us, you can join us on Patreon. With Patreon, you get access to our Discord server, you get an extra live stream each month, you get an extra video each month, and you get an audio podcast episode each month, plus other little fun things depending on the tier you select. But you can join for as little as $2 a month. That is patreon.com/KaylaLords, or as always, the link is in the description box. Okay. Yay! Yes, you can hit magic buttons and we will get into things. And I will
Zhuzh along, right?
sort out the towel under my butt. Okay, there we go.
Excuse me. All right.
Okay, before we get into the posts from Reddit, I don't know if I'm going to rant. I don't remember reading anything that made steam come out of my ears, but I have a bad memory, so don't count on me for that. We do have some announcements. So this week, we would like to thank us for sponsoring us again. This time, I'm going to do the thing that makes me deeply uncomfortable and let folks know / remind of the few who might have remembered that I have my own vanilla Etsy shop that is book themed. There's stickers, there's bookmarks, and there's now t-shirts. I'm eventually going to add other things, but there's only so much time. I always have more ideas and hours in the day. Some of my newer stuff is sort of leaning into the romance, spicy stuff, but also there's audiobook stuff for those who are audiobook fans. I also have a little section that is blind date with a used book to give a book a second life. So yeah, it's called Book Dreams Shop. The link is in the places, y'all. So yeah, if you are bookish and need gifts or just want like cute little things, check it out. And thank you for us to sponsoring us this week. The next thing on my list, I'm gonna swap items around. There's something buzzing around my face. Yeah. Today, day of recording, is July 24th, and apparently that is World BDSM Day. So happy World BDSM Day.
Everybody needs to go and celebrate.
In whatever kinky way makes your heart happy.
Yeah.
What will we be doing? Talking to y'all as loving BDSM. Today has been a hardcore loving BDSM day. We recorded before, like early, like a few hours ago, our Patreon podcast. We recorded the Patreon and YouTube membership exclusive video.
We did the Monday short
We did the
form.
Monday episode already. It's been a heavy loving BDSM day for us, but not a kinky day. But just by existing, isn't it a kinky day for us always? I don't know. I tell myself that because it makes me feel better. Our third announcement is a little impromptu. We're taking next week off. There will be a Monday episode because we recorded it and I can schedule it. Right. You will see social media posts if you follow us at that handle I fucking hate over on Instagram, because I can schedule that stuff. And patrons will get to hear a little bit more about it in the behind the scenes podcast episode that's coming out soon. But basically our mental health tanked. Yeah. Not because anything major happened. We're as good as we have been, and we are not at 2021, 2022 levels of stress. Comparatively, it's just not the same. But we can both feel burnout creeping in. Yeah. And we're about to go into a time of year where we do not feel like we have the luxury of like long breaks. And we need all the energy we can muster for that. Yeah. So we are basically moving heaven and earth with our schedule and the work we had planned for this week and next week, getting it all done this week so we can take next week off. All of our shops are still open. We will still process orders. Those things, do not ever, not even on our busiest day, never does an order stress me out. No. Orders are my favorite things. And also I can deal with orders in like an hour a day and be done. I don't know how JB feels about this, but basically I had the thought of, I want to wake up for a few days in a row and have zero obligations and not be stressed at the thought of my to-do list. My to-do list that is not overly long either. It's just, that's how I knew it was burnout. Because I was like,
no alarm clock.
Yeah. I would like to walk for our mental health, but it doesn't have to be at 5:30 in the morning. No. Like just a week off. Yeah. Now, patrons who look at a calendar and know dates better than I do might be like worried. No. This coming Friday, the day this podcast episode goes out for audio folks, we have a Patreon event with our game night that we do once a month. And then the first Saturday in August, I don't know what that date is. I keep forgetting to look at a calendar. We will have a Patreon live Q&A. We do that for our patrons. And if you're a member of our YouTube channel, that's our separator from the time game night ends, basically to the time the Q&A starts. We're off. And I think we both knew it was the right decision because we were immediately a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And thankfully, y'all are all super supportive and always just tell us to take care of ourselves. Well, we're trying to listen to you.
Little self-care for a week.
Right.
For the both of
and
us.
thank you, Rara. Rara looked at a calendar. August 3rd is the patron and YouTube member live Q&A.
Thank you, Rara.
Thank you, Rara. Okay, so enough of the announcements. Let us get into the Reddit posts. I did not pull any of the questions from the BDSM Am I the Asshole subreddit. That is a subreddit run by Pink Kink Podcast Princess Rara. There are more people posting in there. I am begging y'all to go in and post there if you have a wait, was I a kinky asshole? I looked through some of them and the more recent ones and I went, I don't think I'm the right one to answer those. So they were more about sex. So anytime you're like, wait, was I the asshole in this kink situation? I would love it if you would go post over there because I definitely want to use those posts in these kinds of episodes. Please let us decide if we think you're an asshole. Please. Okay, so all of today's posts came from the BDSM advice subreddit. Okay, first one.
Okay.
Sometimes I wonder if it's worth it. And
Same.
Stop! This is where I have to get really close to the screen because the glasses suck. Okay, here we go. 60 female, married to 58 male, been together 9 years. I am primarily vanilla and he's into BDSM. I never dabbled until I met my now hubby. He loves to be the submissive. I am honestly not the dominating type, but I try for his sake. We went through a sexual dry spell as he doesn't want to make me do things I'm not comfortable with. I, on the other hand, am willing to try because I love him and want to fulfill his needs. It seems though the last couple of times we played, things didn't quite go as planned and he got angry and made me feel like it was my fault. For instance, our bed frame came apart during our last session. I, of course, thought it was something funny to laugh at, and he made it seem like it was the end of the world. It hurt my feelings so much I cried. Honestly, I put a lot of thought and energy into our session as it isn't easy for me. You would think he could at least say he was sorry for overreacting. Why does it have to be so freaking serious all the time? In order for me to feel comfortable and confident, I'd like to have some fun too. And for me, that's laughing at the stupid stuff that happens or that I do. How do I get him to lighten up a tad? It makes me want to not try and do this anymore. I'm sad for both of them.
I know.
It's an incompatibility that they're trying to find.
They're trying to
find
that center spot. And you know what? She's absolutely right. You need to have you need to have that sense of humor.
Yes, but what if he's got himself all stressed out about this is his only way to submit? I know how I am. And something goes wrong, and I've gotten better because I am confident in you. When I get to submit to you, it is not going to be the only time I get to do it for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? It's our life. What if he's like, this is my only chance, and he does that thing that a lot of people do. Put pressure on the situation to be, air quote, perfect. And so when something goes wrong, it's a small thing that should be able to be laughed off, but it feels catastrophic because it ruined the picture in your mind of the perfect situation. Now, I think, yes, I agree. He kind of does need to lighten up, but I think I can see where he might be coming from.
But, and again, though, you saying that, and yeah, I see your point, but, there again, too, that comes in with the managing expectations.
Absolutely. I agree completely.
Because let's face it, nothing in this, nothing is ever perfect. Okay? Nothing ever goes as planned. The bed breaks. You fall out of bed.
Something cramps up.
Something
falls asleep.
Right. it's all going to happen. And, those stupid things, you got to be able to laugh them off.
I know, but I think before you can get to that place that you can laugh them off, you need to feel there's something is lacking in confidence. And whether it's, will we be able to do this often enough, or am I, and I am reading a lot into it. We do not have his perspective, but she says that they went through a dry spell because he doesn't want to make me do things I'm not comfortable with. So is there guilt involved of I'm already asking her to do and be something she's not? And so it sounds like pressure on his side of things. I agree, though. I agree about setting and managing expectations. I agree about you got to laugh off that stuff because it's going to happen. And now we've got somebody who's crying because they're so upset, and the other person's so pissed off, and no scenes are happening now.
Right.
So as always, this is such the boring answer. I know. Yeah. It goes back to communication, right? Like, true. It's let's sit down and talk about this. Let's talk about how his anger made her feel, how her laughter made him feel. The hardest part, but I think the most important part, is to try and do it without being judgy. It's real easy in an argument to go, well, you made me feel this way and you did this. To the best of your ability, do I statements. I feel this way, when this happens. I feel, pair your feeling with the action. Again, none of us are perfect, and this is a skill that has to be learned, and I still suck at it sometimes. Instead of going on the attack with the other person, because what's going to happen is everybody's going to shut down. And now we're not talking about how, you are having these expectations of this supposedly perfect scene, and when it's not perfect, you're freaking out, and now it's ruined for me too. Like, that's ultimately the thing I think that has to happen, is there's got to be a conversation about it. Yeah,
there definitely has to be a conversation. You're not, and I think too, makes me kind of wonder, she's, he's stomping at the bit.
Oh,
and
I'm sure.
And he's ready to go. All right, and she's a little hesitant. She's not, quite sure. How much is he expecting of her?
True.
Right out of the gate.
True. I would be interested to know the scope of the scenes that he's asking for / she's willing to and able to and trying to execute. And not only if there's a mismatch, but it might not even be that deep. It might just be it's outside of some comfort levels / experience levels. And so that's a lot of pressure for everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't think lashing out at a partner is the best way to go about anything. I'm not saying that's right, but I can understand this is the only way I'm going to get it, and it's few and far between, and I'm relying on a partner that I already feel bad if, I'm guilty that maybe I'm, asking them to do something they don't even want to do. That I would be so curious to hear his side of, like, because I have been that submissive, and God knows I have met enough submissives who are like, I have this picture in my head of what it's going to be like to submit, what it's going to be like to be dominated, who that person's going to be, what they're going to do. And do we all eventually come crashing down to reality? Of course we do. But that usually comes from getting to have the day-to-day experience of it, or a consistent experience of it, or the give and take. And this is, I admire her. She's like, this is not my thing, but I want him to be happy, so I'll try.
I'll try it, yeah.
Yeah, I would be very curious about the expectations he has set for himself, for her, and for the scene. Because I think that's probably where the anger comes from. Yeah. And or because I'm nosy, I'm a little curious about what made the bed break. Because here's what I know. If our bed broke, I would have to laugh, because my alternative would be to cry. Right. Because of some deep-seated issues of my own. But if I thought my actions were the reason the bed broke, I would be inconsolable. I would not be able to be laughed at or have somebody laughing with me. until I like got my head on straight. So I think it's, you know, both simpler than it seems, but also more complex. There's lots of feelings going on, and some people lash out. It's not right. It's not healthy. Like,
No.
come on, calm your tits there.
Right.
But
Yeah,
it is
right.
what people do. And so to be able to have the conversation to work through it, you know, he's got to be able to try to articulate what that is for him. And she can maybe ask questions to pull that out of him, but she also can't make him talk.
Right.
And if he's not going to communicate well, and we don't know, it doesn't say here, then, you know, I bet it is on hold for a while. I wouldn't want to go outside of my own comfort zone for my partner if I'm going to get yelled at
right.
when something goes wrong.
Right. I mean, that's going to, unfortunately, yeah, you know, if he's getting angry and yelling at him, that's going to push people away. Absolutely.
Exactly. Okay, next one. Okay. Here we go. A consensual non-consent scene went badly, and I can't reconnect to my subby self. We have heard this kind of thing before. Yeah. My dom and I have a free use CNC rule when I'm around him. I live an hour and a half away from him. When we do it, he always kisses me or pulls my nipples or just something to get me wet. We wanted to try minimizing that and trying to be a little rougher. I was studying and he told me to bend over. I've never done CNC apart from the gentle free use. I didn't really know what to expect, but I was sore, and I can only describe it as me, air quote, taking it. I kind of thought that was normal and what people really liked about it. I was waiting for him to come. When it was over, he had to go back to work, and I had to take my train home, and I didn't think much of it until I got home and I got hit with a huge sub drop. I never sub drop normally, so this was bad. I couldn't figure out why I was feeling badly. It wasn't until I spoke to him that we realized I didn't get the aftercare I needed, and I should have safe worded. He felt awful, but neither of us thought about it. It didn't help that our schedule did not align for a few days, but we spent 2 hours on the phone chatting to try and make up for the missing aftercare. That happened a week ago, and I'm set to see him Wednesday for a week. The thing is, I'm into denial. I haven't had an orgasm in 70 days, and normally I would be full-on horny and begging to edge and be all subby. But I've had zero desire to touch myself, and I have not been horny. I still call him daddy and complete my normal day-to-day tasks, but I feel like I can't reconnect to my submissive part of me. I also have a porn blog, and I have avoided it. I don't really know what to do to go back to normal. I asked him to dom me gently when I see him because the idea of getting to his flat and undressing at the door is overwhelming me. But I'm his sub, so I don't know what to do. I would love to hear some advice if anyone has had a scene go wrong and it disconnected them to kink. I think the last thing they should do upon seeing one another, maybe eventually, they should not scene or do anything
I
remotely
agree.
power exchangey from at the first moment they see one another.
Right. I think they need to have a serious conversation. From the sounds of it, you know, it's not like either one of them was intentionally being.
Right.
You know, it more seems like something that happened. It was just the perfect storm that.
And it was one of those things of, we talked about this thing, doing this thing, and then I experienced this thing, and whether it was that moment or always, I don't like that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is going to happen. You
Right.
can't always know until you try it.
Exactly. And, you know, I just like we had with that one time when you had that panic attack. Okay. You know, yeah, we had to step back. You and I, we had to sit down and talk, you know, and really work through that before we could find our ground again. And I think that needs to, you know, be what happens here. It does not sound like either one of them. You know, yeah, it's CNC, you know, it's... But you know what? They should have still talked about it a little bit prior.
Yes, I think especially for a first time of doing that kind of scene, it is. I get where people, because people say this all the time, and I get it. You know, like, well, I like the headspace, and I don't want to like, you know, ruin the mood or whatever. I want to set the tone. Well, that's lovely, and if you can find a rhythm with a partner that you've got enough experience with, I'm sure you can get there. I'm sure people get there all the time, with CNC specifically, I mean. But when you're going to go from a kind of a gentle free use thing, which sounds a lot like what you and I do, to something purposefully rougher, I think you know, learn from the moment, I guess, and in the future, have a conversation about it. Even if maybe it's not like 2 seconds before it happens, but even if it's like 15, 20 minutes before, like, hey, let's try this tonight. What are you thinking? You know, the other thing, and again, you know, this person had to learn a very probably common lesson the hard way, and hopefully they remember it for the future. So everybody who plays with CNC and free use and all the different versions of it that there can be has their own reasons for it, their own motivations, what they get out of it, what they're looking for out of it. Whatever that other person, these other people get from it, does not have to be the same thing you get from it. So if this person was having that experience and was like, you know, I was just taking it and I didn't like it, and you know, that's what I thought other people liked, and I was just kind of waiting for it to be over, waiting for him to come. You know, the thing to decide for yourself, and I think to like internalize for yourself, is if there's nothing about this moment I'm enjoying, whether it's the excitement, the fear, the powerlessness, I mean, pick a thing, right? Yeah. If there's nothing about this that I'm enjoying, and I am just desperate for it to be over, and not even desperate, just this isn't even for me anymore, and it's painful, and safe word the fuck out of it. Right. Because safe words, we often talk about safe words as a bad thing has happened and it's about to be imminent danger. Sometimes the safe word is, I don't want this. Right. I thought I did, and I don't. Safe word. Especially that they were trying something new for the first time, over, you know, a big step over and above what they had been doing. Yes. Okay. And at the same time, it doesn't say in there how long they've been together, does it? No, I don't know. No. But I mean, you know, if it's someone that has played together for any amount of time, you know, on his side, he needs to be more aware of visual cues. Yes, and when in doubt, check in. Yes. Which, I can already hear folks with a very, like, 1 or 2 dimensional view of CNC going, well, you don't check in, that's the CNC. Once you know you're good to go, but maybe not. You wait for the cues, whatever. And that, to me, I'm still iffy on that, because maybe it's because you and I don't play hard. We're not trying to create some very taboo scenes with words I would not even say right now. That's how, right? Like, we're not trying to do that. And quite frankly, if you're not trying to do that, why wouldn't you check in? Yeah. Because there are sexy ways to check in. Sure. Really, there are ways to sound kind of like brooding and kind of gruff and kind of right. But when it's a first time, fucking check in. Yeah. Because, you know, even we've been together as long as we have. You read my body language well 99.9% of the time. But there's always that 0.1% where you might not. And if we're doing something new, you were asking me. You were doing that check-in to just sort of take the temperature of, is this working? Absolutely. But, you know, some people disagree, and people can think what they want to think. No, safe words belong in CNC. That's what the fucking safe word. Yeah. The safe word or the gesture or the whatever you establish should not be the end all be all. But that's why you use a safe word, so you can say things like, no, stop, don't. Right. Because the safe word is supposed to be the delineation. Right. And I lost my thought. I hate it when that happens. Yeah. I'll say this, to get back to this person's original question, this is what we said at the top. I think you come together as human beings who just genuinely like one another. Yeah. And you don't worry so much about the power exchange. It doesn't mean that the power exchange is not there, but like, I think in the comments they were saying that they have sort of a ritual of when they arrive, like they get naked and they do this, and then, not this time, not until you're both on firmer ground, until the submissive is kind of in a headspace. It might not be be the exact headspace you're used to.
Right.
You might not be frothing at the mouth out of horniness, but there's going to come a point where you feel a desire or a certain comfort level, or I want to be doing the thing we normally do. That's when you, and you know what? If it only takes a couple hours to get there, great. If it takes a couple days, that's okay too. There should not be a time limit. You went through something where it didn't go as planned. You realized later that you should have safe worded, but in the moment that wasn't where your head was at. You didn't get the aftercare that you needed. Drop, especially like if it's not something you usually go through, or if drop when it comes after an emotional low instead of that emotional high. That's a tough one, because when you have the emotional high, it sucks to drop, but you at least have the memory of, oh, that was amazing. But if the memory is less than positive, like, why would you want to put yourself in that again? I can see it. So no, don't worry about your routines. Don't worry about your rituals until
you all need to step back.
Yep.
And regroup.
And then consider this a hard earned lesson. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, what will you do better in the future? And that should, if it hasn't already been, that's the conversation to have too. You know, do we even want to try this again? And if we do, what will we do differently and better next time?
Right.
Okay, next one. This one's a long one too. Okay, DDlg dynamics with age/body insecurities. Hello all, I'm female in a daddy-dom little girl marriage. We are both mid-40s. We've been together 14 years in the lifestyle for less than 5 years in its current form. I was dominant prior. The dynamic is fluid, mostly in the bedroom, with elements showing up occasionally in our marriage, but we do not have a 24/7 DDlg arrangement. I am an overweight female, 5'4" and 170 pounds. This is relevant to the situation. Recently during playtime, my feelings were hurt when my daddy dom was playing with my very large breasts and talking about how much he loved my flat chest. Even though this type of talk has been occurring for years, in this instant, I felt sad that my boobs were not loved as they are. It was fleeting, but reoccurred days later. I talked this out with my daddy dom. He was amazing and immediately offered to stop saying anything that contradicted the reality of my body. I am thankful, and at the moment, the entire dynamic is on hold while we talk this out. After much discussion, he told me that part of him does wish he could have sex with someone younger and thinner than me. He said he also wishes sometimes that I was smaller, and that in particular, I look big when I'm in doggy style position. I asked him how much of him wants that reality, and he said 25%. He said 75% of him is happy in our marriage and with me, but that other part of him wants everything. All the sex and freedom, basically a porn star life with porn star level hot girls. He admits this is immature and says that he never ever would do anything to be with anyone else and will never leave me. He has made it clear that he chooses me and will stay with me because he loves me. I suppose I'm now having great difficulty letting this go, and I'm wondering how I'll ever feel brave enough to be naked around him again, let alone be little in my advanced age. I'm going to stop here and give side eye to advanced age.
I know, right?
I feel vulnerable and so very ugly. He is being kind and reassuring me that I'm not ugly, that I am beautiful to him, but I definitely feel not good enough. I am thankful that he shared with me what he feels and desires, but oh wow, I really wanted it to just be me. We will definitely be speaking to our therapists about this, but in the meantime, I need solid advice from people in the lifestyle. So here's my question. Can DDlg dynamics exist as you, quote, age out in a healthy way? Does anyone older than us have a success story to give me hope? Is it time to maybe transition into a more standard DS dynamic? Or are these red flags that are signaling trouble ahead? Thanks in advance. I want to hug her.
Yeah.
First of all, to think that mid-40s is advanced age, we all need to calm down. As a mid-40s girl who's struggling with it, we technically, depending on health, genetics, lifestyle, blah, blah, we got 40 more years ahead of us. That's a long damn time. If we're lucky, knock on wood, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
My heart hurts for her.
Yeah.
So here's my first thought.
All right.
I think we did this episode a few weeks ago, that not every thought you think needs to be communicated.
Right. It doesn't.
I definitely understand, because we've had that conversation too about, I think a thought, I say a thought because I want to be able to share all the different parts of me with you.
Yeah.
But if the parts of me that I want to share, the thoughts that I have, could only be hurtful to you, and there's nothing that can be done about them. She can't be younger. She shouldn't have to be smaller. She's got big boobs. Celebrate the big tatas is what I say. Like, she can do nothing to change that, nor should she have to, nor should she try if she doesn't want to.
Correct.
And yet, he felt compelled. That was the thing she needed to know.
I know.
She didn't need those should have stayed inside thoughts. Some thoughts get to be inside thoughts, and that's one of them.
You know, the thing that kind of jumped up with me, you know, during the scene where he was, you know, kind of humiliating her.
I know. It made me wonder if they have that as part of their dynamic.
Right. And you know, we do our own form of humiliation between you and I, but you're not amused, are you? No.
Here's the thing. She can't unhear any of that.
Unfortunately, no. You know, at the same time, there were certain things that in the beginning, certain phrases and words that I said, you know, that you were like, oh no, don't ever.
Please don't say that. That will not work.
Right. You know, and that type of thing was, you know, off the table.
Right.
You know, and pretty much know what I can and can't say at this point.
Sure. And if I discover something, I go, hey, by the way, not that.
Yep.
That.
You know, so there is that too.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what he was talking about? Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, some things should never be said out loud, and you know, in most cases, fantasy should remain a fantasy.
And that's the thing. He was describing a fantasy.
Yeah.
But he said it out loud, put it in her mind, so it gets to live in her memory hole now. Mm-hmm. And it, you know, I'm not saying that it can't be overcome. Right. You know, maybe with the right therapy, maybe with enough time between them, you know, she might get to a point where she feels more secure. Because what I would love for anybody and everybody is for you to feel secure in yourself, regardless of what the people around you think. I mean, that's the ideal. I haven't achieved it yet either. It's just an ideal. But she does not have that. The person she's been with for 14 years, that she has this vulnerable relationship with, power exchange is vulnerable, who he's supposed to, from what it sounds like, the way they do their sex life and their power exchange in the bedroom, like, it's not, it sounds like it's sort of supposed to be I comment on your body, but I'm giving it all this attention and affection and pleasure and whatever they do, and she gets to kind of feel little and go into her space. And I don't want to speak for this person, and I can't speak for everybody, but let me tell you personally how hard I struggled with the idea of, even though I don't consider myself a quote true little, baby girls to me are on that spectrum of what it means to be a little. And the thing I struggled with at first was, but I am not physically little. I'm also was not physically young. And so can I be, quote, a little? And if this person has any remnant of that in their mind, in their insecurities, to then be told by the person who was supposed to be the person they could trust above all, the person who, by all accounts, should desire them above all, that does not mean there can't be fantasies. And, like, of course, like, that's not what I'm saying. To be then told that you're kind of big in this position. Like, look, here's the thing. There ain't a big girl out there who's not kind of aware of what big person, let's not even gender it, who's not a little bit aware of what they probably look like. I personally don't like to fuck around in front of mirrors because I don't want the visual, right? Yeah. I don't have that much security within myself to do that. Other people do, and that's great. And I just, like, I think that's why I feel this one so deeply, because if you were to say I looked big in doggy style, first of all, I know, okay, I have seen this ass bent over. I'm aware. But then I get it. That's all I would be thinking that you were thinking.
I know.
Even though there's a better than good chance that you would not think that every time. You would think positive things about me. the fantasy thing that he would, I believe that yes, we should be able to share our fantasies with our partners, even if you're fully monogamous and there's never going to be any.
Right.
There's. I think that it should be okay if both partners consent to hearing fantasies, just to share fantasies. But if
not
the
to do it
fantasies
in
are
a
to the detriment of the partner,
not to be derogatory to the partner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the thing is, first of all, I'm going to say the fact that one of her first questions was, can DDlg dynamics exist as you age out in a healthy way? That speaks to another insecurity that maybe is not really being brought up here, because little is a state of mind. It's not about your age. It's not about your body size. It's just about how you feel and interact with a person in a moment. And that could
be too. All right, they are doing, they are in a DDlg dynamic, and maybe it's not right for them.
Right.
Just like we were in a Sir.
Here's the thing. It sounds like it's right for her. It is what she wants.
Yeah.
But can she see her husband as her daddy dom anymore? Look, this might sound harsh to somebody. Somebody's not gonna like it. I don't think I give a fuck. So all dominants should have responsibility to their submissive partners. Yes. To me, I think the caregiver dominant, there needs to be some care given. Not that other dominants shouldn't, but there's this inherent it's understood that there's supposed to be some kind of nurturing, some kind of I don't like to use the word softer because you're a sadistic bastard and a daddy dom, but there's just this. It's supposed to be about, on some level, taking care of your little, whatever that means and whatever that looks like. That was not taking care of her in
not at
any
all.
way.
Not at all.
Is he a daddy dom, or is that what worked for now? Is she
right?
It's different. I'm sure it's harder if they're married and they want to stay married and they're monogamous. Then if he's not a daddy dom but she's a little, how do you thread that needle? I don't know.
You don't know.
But I mean, before anybody's fucking around, I would have to get right with my insecurities over what he said.
Now, one thing at the end they're talking about, they are going to talk about this with their
which I love.
Which I think is fantastic. My one hope is that their therapist or therapists, where they meet together or separately, are kink aware.
Yes. Oh my God.
Because what has happened is so wound up in their dynamic that needs to be addressed.
Right. Because now there's not just her own insecurities that she's having to stare at that were probably there, but you know what? It when you think that your partner finds you attractive, adores you, whatever, is easy over time, especially to not think about your insecurities. I mean, truly, most of the time I could tell you with a straight face, look you in the eye and go, oh, I'm not that insecure until something happens. I go, oh my God, I'm so insecure. Because you get into this state of being and this back and forth and, you know how each other is. The words are not coming properly, but you know what I mean? The comfort of being with a partner who's pretty stable and consistent, you can forget those insecurities until something reminds you of them. So I can't help but wonder if that was it. She was comfortable and was like, okay, we're in this together. And now she can't get his words out of her head.
Yeah.
And it kills me because one of her questions is, am I too old to be a little now? You are not too old to be. If that is authentic to you and how you want to experience submission, and that's the headspace you get into, and that's who you are / want to be, then that is valid. I don't care your age.
You could be 80 and still have a little side if you want.
If I don't have a playful, snarky, sassy baby girl side to me in my 90s, I'm going to be pissed. Okay? I'm going to go Karen. I'm going to need to speak to a manager. What the fuck happened? I hopefully intend to be the little old lady who has truly zero fucks and just says whatever. But yeah, I mean, that's the part that breaks my heart. You don't have to quote transition. What is standard DS? I mean, I get what somebody means when they say standard DS, but none of it is supposed to be standard.
No.
It's supposed to be whatever works for the two people involved.
Right.
This dude has some serious I hate to say it, and somebody's going to be mad at me. I don't give a fuck. You better grovel. You better be true. You better spend all your time bigging her up and, you know, and be prepared for her not to believe a fucking word you say.
As they would say at one time, got some serious backpedaling to do.
Woo! Okay, the not kind part of myself, when I was hearing what he was describing, what he wished he could have.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. It's okay to wish you could have those things. It's okay to have those as fantasies. It's okay to go, God, that would be amazing. I'm not like faulting him for having the thoughts. They should have been inside thoughts.
Yeah.
But all I could think was, is he one of those men that wants that, pardon me, this is a very ugly thing to think about another human being, could never have fucking had it in the first place? How many of those people have we come across who are like, oh, I want the porn star sex life? Now, first of all, porn, that's acting, y'all. That's all staged and set up. The sex is real, but like, come on. You're not going to have that kind of sex. You could not handle it. You'd be exhausted, and you'd probably be very sticky by the time it was over. But like this is the unkind part of me that's a bitch, and I know I'm a bitch. The people who tend to be the most vocal about this is what I wish I had are the people who could never get that in 100 years. Not just for looks, personality is usually most of it. But I mean, part of me would like to see a picture of him, and does he look big in doggy style position? Does he still look like he did in his 20s? Fucker.
I know.
That's a stereotype to say, but the people I tend to hear that from are the people who couldn't have gotten it anyway.
Yeah.
Which is why it's a fantasy, and let it live in your fucking head, and let it be what you jack off to, and like have a good time. God damn, I have those fantasies. I know what this body looks like though, and I know what this personality is, and that's why I could not have that. But come on. And now, in the name of being honest,
she's traumatized.
And is questioning, like, if she's even allowed to be a little. Like,
I know.
And, you know, whether they're red flags that signal trouble ahead, I honestly don't know. Like, the part of me that wants to give the benefit of the doubt says this person thought that clear, open communication meant word vomit. You know what I mean? Meant to give no critical thinking to what you were going to tell a person.
Yeah.
You know, that's the part that I want to believe, because when she finally brought up, hey, please don't talk about my big old boobs like they're not there. He was like, I will not talk about your body in a way that does not actually appear. That's pretty mature. Like, I would not expect that from, you know, a lot of people to be able to go, okay, yeah, we're not commenting on your body in that way. Cool. But then why couldn't you have been, like, something enough? Pick a word to go, you know, why would I tell a person about this when there's nothing? And then to quantify it. Well, 75% of me. Yeah. What does that even mean?
Right.
What does that even mean? And how does somebody get that out of their head? Therapy. Thank God they have therapists, because I would not have the right words to tell somebody how to get over that.
No.
I would be crushed. Yeah. Yeah. That one hurt my heart. Oh, God. Rara pointed out I didn't think I was going to rant. Now I'm hot and sweaty, y'all. I'm hot and sweaty. Okay, last one.
All right.
Advice needed.
Excuse me.
Just needing some advice, as I think I'm just overthinking this. So I've been with my dom a few months now, known each other for like 3 years. One of our rules, quote, real life comes first. And obviously it does. We have separate spouses and children. Yes, the spouses know. But now I'm overthinking, does he think our dynamic is not real? Does he think it's all just fantasy? Am I just reading into it a bit too much as he has been busy and I miss him? We're exclusive to each other, not talking/playing with any other sub or dom. We've both voiced we have feelings, huge respect for each other, and care about each other a lot. But am I just wasting my time? Even before we started our dynamic, I knew it would happen eventually. It was a case of right dom, wrong time, and it eventually was the right time, and I am over the moon. Obviously, I will discuss this with him. Good, because that's the first thing. Please go have a conversation. Right. But this idea that if real life has to intervene, that somehow the dynamic isn't real, part of that's an insecurity. That's an insecurity on their part of,
true.
wait, does this mean I'm not as, am I making something bigger and more important in my head than it is? Like, that's the thing they gotta go talk about with their partner. But this idea that because real life will absolutely fucking intervene, real life, that means
that
the DS life
real.
is not real. And I think maybe it's poor phrasing. Vanilla life.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
We all know, and most everybody out there in, our audience, they understand, life happens.
Right.
And sometimes, yes, you need to step back. Does it make it any less real? Absolutely not. Not in my mind. It's still there. Even though we may have to step back sometimes for various reasons, whether illness or family, something going on. All come back to the same place.
Right. Are the feelings still there? Do you still want the role? Does it still feel like who you are in whatever way you define that? If this thing was not interrupting your plans, would you be doing the thing you've been doing? As long as all of that holds true, it's real. It is absolutely an insecurity on their part.
Yes.
And I do get it. It's hard to be a little bit of long distance, not a primary partner. I don't know if they use that language, but I know that's how you and I kind of look at it. That can lead to insecurities and,
Right.
is this one-sided? That,
And that's something, as it one-sided in that way, there's only one way she's going to find out.
Right.
She's going to have to ask him. And
Then
they're ever since the internet has come upon us, there are people who are of two camps. Nothing we do, no interaction we have on the internet is real.
Yeah.
Okay? And, then there's the others that say, no, even though it may not be physical, we're emotionally, putting ourselves out there. So this to me is real.
Right. It's a perspective, perception thing. Well, that's the other thing. I think it might have been in the comments on this one or it was something else. And I saw somebody try to get into the semantics that in their view, all power exchange is just role play. Sophisticated role play, but role play. And I can see that argument because you and I have absolutely had to go and put a halt on the power exchange in order to deal with things in life. The thing is, though, when it's not the most extreme situation and when things are mostly clicking along, one, we live our life as dom and sub. This is it's not a hat we put on and take off. It is only in the most extreme situations where, and for us, it just means you don't get to be the decider. That doesn't mean you stopped being a daddy dom, and it doesn't mean I stopped being submissive.
Right.
For us, submission and dominance is part of who we are. It is baked into who we are. So I tend to get really insulted when somebody likes to refer to it as role play in all forms. Like for some people it is role play. Some people will feel like we do and still call that's fine. But for me, like it pisses me off because I'm like, look, he could tell me tomorrow that he's not going to tell me what to do and follow up with my tasks. But guess what? I'm going to come to him every fucking chance I get and go, what do you think? I'm going to do shit for you. I mean, hopefully with your consent, because that's part of who I am. I'm going to defer to you when I can. You could take the words away. You can call it something else for all I give a fuck. I'm still going to do those things because that is a part of who I am. The problem I had before was I was doing it for the wrong motherfuckers. And now I do it for the right motherfucker. I mean, you are literally a motherfucker, I'm just saying, because I'm a mom. Anyway, if we want to play fucking semantics. Anyway, so when people start telling me about real life interfering, yes, you and I firmly believe that. Most of this podcast is based on that. But also, if you identify with your role in power exchange as a core part of who you are, like it's part of your identity, that doesn't just stop because the actions stop. Right? Like, yes, real, air quote, real life will absolutely fuck up all of our plans for a scene, all of our plans for some, like, deeper power exchange. What? We lived a 3 or 4 year hellacious, stressful life, and it was only because we would sometimes go, you're daddy dom, and I'm your baby girl, right? Right? We're still in this, right? Like, we never really got to feel it as much as we wanted
No.
to. Didn't mean it wasn't fucking there. It didn't mean we didn't want it. It didn't mean it wasn't real. And that's
It may have been tempered a little bit, but yeah, it was still there.
right. Do we get to live it to an extreme? I don't know, an extreme is a bad word, but it's
Yeah.
the only one I can come
To
up
its fullest.
to its fullest, the way we'd like. Not right now.
Nope.
Not right now.
Nope.
But that doesn't mean we haven't before and we won't again in the future.
Correct.
And what fullest, air quote, that means will change depending on what's going on in life.
Yeah.
For the fullest for us when the boys were younger was not the fullest it will mean when these mofos are living somewhere else and paying their own damn rent, right? Like that's different points of life. That's different experiences. And while I'm not ready for my youngest to fully grow up yet, I'm looking forward to that time in the future, right?
Sure.
Because then we redefine what power exchange looks like for us.
We, at that point, we totally redefine our lives to whatever.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
Right?
I'm not ready for that existential crisis today. Not ready for it. So, yes, ultimately, I think this person's issue is an insecurity. Something's been going on. Maybe there's been a lack of communication somewhere. Maybe the expectations haven't been managed when there is maybe some radio silence because real life interfered.
Sure.
But I think that worrying about, is this, when you have to pause for real life, does that mean that what we have is somehow not real? Is a little bit of a stereotype from people who dismiss all power exchange as only and always role play.
Yeah.
For some people it is. In some contexts, semantically, I can see the argument, but when somebody is telling you that this is their life that they're living, you, the anonymous you from the outside, don't get to come in and go, well, that's just fucking role play anyway. Fuck you, motherfucker. Like, I just
Yeah. Yeah. No,
what
I
even
get it.
is real? It's all a goddamn simulation, okay? The timeline started getting a little bit better in the past few days, but still, I could use a different dimension and timeline. Like, come on. What even is real? Just, I know. Anyway, I'm glad that they ended on the line. I obviously will discuss this.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah.
Because it definitely needs to be.
And yes, let us all be realistic that however we're going to define real life, as in the life that is separate and apart from our power exchange, and our power exchange cannot function within that thing happening. Like for us, it's things with the kids. If there's an emergency with a child, I'm not deferring to JB on hardly anything. Like I would, like my natural tendency is, but as their mother, who is the only human being that can legally sign anything and has full rights to like whatever, that's limited now that the oldest is the oldest, an adult, but whatever. Like, no, there's no deferring. There's working together. There's a word for that. I can't think of what it is, but we're going to work together on an equal footing. Now, does that mean there's an emergency with a kid? We are on equal footing, right? That's the real life. We walk out of that emergency for a 5-minute breather. Is he now not my daddy? And I'm not leaning on him and going, oh my God, right? Hell yeah. So it's all very nuanced, and it's not just this. I think for some of us, many of us, I don't know, we don't just shut it off like a valve. Like it's not just a spigot of water I've turned off. It's it's only a little trickle right now. The only reason that I would call myself power exchange is because I know who I am, I know who you are, I know who we are together. But in this specific moment, you're not in charge, I'm not in charge. We doing this together. So anyway, I'm sure that's being read as a rant. I don't feel ranty, but my blood pressure did go up and I'm hot and sweaty now. So I guess it counts. I don't know.
It counts.
Okay. So
Excuse me.
You have the hiccups over there. That was the last one from Reddit, so we can do a bonus section.
Okay.
Yay!
So, are we good?
I don't know. That's not for me to say.
Keep it kinky, y'all.
And we'll see y'all in a couple of weeks.
Yes, baby girl.
Can we talk to the crickets?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
Did I forget to say y'all at the end of my own fucking tagline? Yes, I did. What was it? There was something else. I think it was when we were recording earlier. I forgot. Oh, no. Podcast listeners who are listening to this sometime Friday, Saturday, whenever you listen, you will have heard. I was doing the podcast intro today and got to the part of the handle I fucking hate and almost glossed right the fuck over it. When was I reminded that that's the handle I fucking hate? The moment I had to try and say the damn handle. So it's just happening. It's just happening. It's all off the rails.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though we're working sort of double time to be able to take next week off and genuinely take it off, which that was the mistake we made in June.
Yeah.
Genuinely taking that time
No,
off.
we didn't.
I'm not like overly stressed. I'm not, I'm just like, yeah, it's extra work, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the weekend. We're better at this than Monday through Friday, but I'm looking forward to whatever day where I feel like I would normally work, waking up and going, I technically don't have to do a goddamn thing today. I'm just going to go rot on the couch. I'm going to read some books. Let's maybe watch some Outlander. I don't know, drink coffee all day long. Woo. And then stare at the ceiling wired at midnight. It'll be fine.
Right.
So I'm better at detecting when burnout is trying to creep in, and I am much more protective of my own mental health. That there are things in life I not only just don't want to burn out, we can't afford it.
I know we can't. I know.
That's what happens when you make your passion your livelihood, and most of your livelihood around a couple of things that you have to do or they don't exist. It's the downside. So we're constantly trying to strike the balance. And yeah, if we had really taken that full week off like we were supposed to, I think we'd be fine. I think we wouldn't, it wouldn't have been a big deal, but we did not.
Nope.
And here we are.
Yep.
But
yep.
Yeah, like we even were talking the other day, and I said, I looked at JB and went, I know without a shadow of a doubt, we are disconnected right now in a way I hate. Mm-hmm. I said, and I know it in a lot of ways and for a lot of reasons. I said, but I also know that neither of us has the bandwidth right now to figure out what the fuck is going on between us. And really, I don't think it's anything between us. I think it's the creeping burnout where we're just, there's nothing new going on. There's nothing drastic. No. It's just, but we also talked about that this feels like this, and I got a awful memory, so this could be inaccurate, but it feels like we go through something funky every summer. And is it the heat? I don't know. But Tasty, that's a pretty cool idea. Tasty said, just a thought, podcast 3 weeks a month and post a previous classic on the 4th week for a break. Maybe. Yeah. I have been meaning to figure out how I could repost old episodes in a seamless, easy to do way, not in a way that I've got to go like do something difficult. I don't know.
Yeah, we can think about it. We've
been floating a lot of thoughts.
We've got a few things we've been noodling right now, and these are things looking forward going into next year, but still. Yeah,
because once we get through July, which is almost over, and then really to about mid-August, we sort of start our speed run to the end of the year, and for as busy as we get, we are joyous at the end of the year. Yeah. We're exhausted, but we're like pumped at the end of the year. So we got to get through this. I don't know. Is it the weather? Like, I know I'm burning up hot in here tonight.
Even tonight after the sun's down. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So I know. But so updates. Lola went to the vet this week.
Yes.
She was so far behind on vet visits. We split up all of her care, mostly to not overwhelm us financially, but not to overwhelm her either. So this was sort of a follow-up, get a couple of shots she needed, and then to check and see how she'd been doing from the previous visit. She lost a whole pound.
Yep.
She hated being at that fucking vet's office. Oh my God. We asked them to clip her nails for us while we were there instead of like going to the groomer. The groomer down the street from us does it for $5, but man, we got to wrangle her into the car. And then she hates going in because she smells the water, and she remembers the bad mean place where they put soap on her. And we're like, we're already at the vet, so let's just have it done here and be done with it.
I think she was too wound up.
She was pissed.
As it was, and she just wasn't having it.
She was pissed. I mean, she showed her she did not growl, she did not bark, she did not lunge, but she showed
it was more
her
of a
teeth.
More of a grimace. That
but it's her teeth.
She kind of does this.
At the tech who was trying to clip her nails.
Yeah.
We got 75% of the nails clipped.
Right.
She did this thing. She too is a girl who believes in clear communication. We're sitting in the little exam room, right, waiting. And we have her on the leash. We do not take her off the leash because who knows what'll happen. She walks primarily from JB, but sometimes from me. But she would go from JB to the door that we came in from, the door she knows is exit. Mm-hmm. Put her nose to the door, stand there, look at us. Go back, look at us, go back. Go walk back to JB, look at him with big eyes.
Yeah.
She paced back and forth like, do you see what I'm trying to explain to you people?
Right.
That's the door, and we need to go out. It was an hour before we had to do that.
Yeah, it was a long visit, but...
So normally what we do yes, we're trying to help her lose weight, and also, yes, we give her treats. What of it? I believe in bribery. That's how we get shit done around here. Normally it's like we go through Dunkin' and we get her some like little munchkins, or we go through, it's been a hot minute, we'll go to Starbucks and get a pup cup. And I went, let's do something different that's not like a gigantic cup full of whipped cream. It's like, let's get her hamburger patties. She forgave us everything after those hamburger patties.
Yep.
Yeah. She might be more inclined to get in the car again. We keep giving her hamburger patties. Oh, God. Yeah. But, you were pretty convinced she was going to ignore you after that, and she really didn't.
No, she didn't. And I really expected that after, all the stress of the day yesterday between being at the vet, the way she was so wound up, she did get a shot. Yeah.
Didn't seem to affect her this time.
No, it didn't. And, they did tell us that, she may be a little, low-key, low energy after the shot. And I was kind of thinking, oh, well, it might give me a break from having to walk her tonight. Oh, no, she wanted her walk last night.
You keep trying to get breaks from walking, whether that's with me or with your dog, and neither of us are having it.
No,
we're not letting you get away with that.
None of y'all are cutting me some slack.
Look, Lola says her evening walks are good for her mental health, and I'm over here like, the morning walks are good for mine. Let's not fuck this up.
Oh, Bunny, she loves bananas.
Yeah, DS Bunny says bananas are great for a treat. Yeah.
She can be somewhere in the house. She will hear a banana being peeled a mile away and come running.
What I really need to do is get some watermelon, because she will do some sketchy shit for watermelon.
Yeah, she will.
And the thing is, so here's the thing. I am clearly old, and I have bought too many, locally grown watermelon in my lifetime. Every time I look at the price of watermelon, even now that it's in season, I'm like, that's more than I used to pay. I'm not paying that price for a watermelon. Yeah. I'm going to have to get the fuck over it if I want watermelon again, but I just haven't been able to make myself buy watermelon. I know.
But no, we've
but I really should, because she really loves it.
We've gotten really strict with her food and her treats. I mean, yes, she got 2 burger patties yesterday, but her dinner was
different to compensate.
Adjusted to compensate for that. Her treats right now are carrots, apples, bananas.
Yeah, the only thing she gets that's considered treat-like, she's taking a bunch of pills right now, so those go in pill pockets. Because we could not afford the amount of bread/cheese we'd have to buy to be able to give her a damn pill. But that, her antibiotic, that she had an infection we didn't know about. They did her blood work last month. They're like, oh, she has an infection. Here's this antibiotic that's $100. I was like, fuck. I've been very spoiled. The antibiotics I usually have to take are 6.
Right.
But it was 28 days, and it was 3.5 pills at a time. Like, holy shit. So it's like, so once we get to stop doing that, then we're back to like a lot fewer on the pill pocket kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, she has forgiven us for the vet appointment. She's got a lot of her energy back just in general.
Oh yeah.
There are definitely recording and streaming Zoomies going on around here again.
Yeah, she's playing. She's back to doing the whole tug of war thing again. So
the cats are still menaces, as they have always been.
Oh yeah.
We've got an outdoor, not technically a stray, but definitely an outdoor cat who can't decide if they like us or not. It's one we've seen around for a while. We left this morning to take our walk, and we have this little table, like a card table kind of thing, set up outside our front door because of the amount of packages I leave out for our mail carrier to pick up from us, which is a wonderful problem to have. But I was like, they were constantly having to bend down. I was like, let's just do this little table out here. Well, when there's no boxes there for, shipments to be picked up, there's this cat that's just sitting there.
Yep.
Now, this morning, they were sitting there, I think because the different sprinkler systems were going, they were running, like, I'm trying to stay dry. And for once, this cat was okay with me petting it and really didn't have any use for JB.
Want nothing to do with me.
Okay, this is what it feels like to be special to a cat. Okay. So, but yeah, I mean,
no, these they're, Katie Rose asked another cheddar. No, these cats are actually, they belong to the people next door. They're well taken care of.
But they're outdoor cats.
But they're I think they're actually indoor outdoor.
But no collar, no nothing.
No.
Which I know, like our neighbor to the other side of us, she tried to keep collars on her outdoor cats, and couldn't keep them on. Just finally went, fuck it.
Yeah. But no, they belong next door, and they are taken care of. Part of it, I think, they come over and hang out with us because we have so much shade in our front yard.
True.
And we have the little bird bath in the front.
But these are also, at least one of the cats from next door, we have caught up on the roof of the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
Just sitting like Yertle the turtle, overlooking their domain. The neighbor on the other side of us has an orange cat named Koi, who I want him to love us. He zero fucks to give with it. Just nope.
He's not a people.
He's not a people person. We are not his people. We will never be his people. He gets on her house. I'm like, well, do we have cats on our house?
Right.
I wouldn't mind. So, but I mean, other than that, it's...
Yeah, I mean, we've just been keeping on.
Yeah. So, it's been relatively quiet, which I will take any damn day of the week.
Just been busy. It's been hot. It's been
so hot. But it's just the nature of it. I think it's raining right now, actually. I won't be mad about that, because that'll cool things down. So, I guess that's it for us. There will be, if you are on our email list, you'll get a newsletter on Friday. There'll be the Monday podcast next Monday, but then after that, it will be kind of quiet. And if you see, air quote, see us online, it's because I scheduled it, y'all. We are going to do our absolute damnedest to just sit on our couch. And nothing else. That's the plan. We shall see what the universe decides.
Right? Yep.
So I guess we'll go, and we will talk to y'all soon-ish.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.